Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the economist class. So it's me, Vansh Arora, and welcome to the part 2 of chapter number 1, Indian economy development at India on the eve of independence. So in the previous lecture, we have just started this chapter, and in this lecture, we will be covering the sectoral conditions. Okay, so without any further ado, let's start. So first, you will gonna understand the agriculture sector, like the backwardness situation that they were facing. तो एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर के टाइम पे हमारे पास बैकवर्डनेस ज्यादा थी, एक्सप्लॉइटेशन बहुत ज्यादा थी। 95% इनकम जो थी हमारी एग्रीकल्चर से आती थी और 85% पॉपुलेशन थी जो विलेजेस की थी। तो वो लोग तो एग्रीकल्चर करते थे, खेती बाड़ी करते थे, वहीं से अपनी जीवन यापन कर रहे हैं, वहीं से अपना जीवन चला रहे हैं, इनकम कमा रहे हैं। They are earning their income from that particular source itself. And low productivity due to under cultivation and forced commercialization. There will be very less productivity due to under cultivation and forced commercialization. There were forced commercialization and there were very low productivity due to under cultivation because the cultivation situation was not good. They are not having enough money, financial assistance so that they can assess their cultivation process. So they are not having much money with them so that they can make their crop, their cultivation more effective so that they can use effective tools, techniques, methods, seeds, but they are not having enough resources with them. So they are having under cultivation, low productivity. So due to which they have to work for forced commercialization. What is forced commercialization? This is the situation in which Britishers forced the farmers to grow the commercial crops rather than cash crops. What were cash crops? Cash crops are the crops which are used for the edibles, which are used as edibles, which we can eat, which we used to eat, like cereals, wheat, but the commercial crops are the crops which are used as a color dye. Which are, we can say like indigo is a color dye, indigo is a commercial crop. So they forced the farmers to grow such kind of crops because they can sell them in the market and they can earn money out of it. So that's why they always demand for it. Next, exploitative and land system. Like they are having Zamindari system with them, Rayotwari system and Mahalwari system with them. Rayotwari system and Mahalwari system is not in your syllabus, but just you have to remember the name. But Zamindari system is there in your syllabus. Like I'll be explaining you what is Zamindari system. In that particular system, for example, there is a farmer who is earning money, who is cultivating the farm, who is growing the crops, and there is a landowner who is known as zamindar. They'll collect taxes on the crops. They'll collect money from the crops and have to pay the particular taxes to the government. If they fail to do so, their rights over their land will taken off. So to ensure the rights would not be taken off, so they always force the farmer to work on the field, to work efficiently, to earn money, to make the crops more efficient and to grow it in a correct manner. So this is the system is known as Zamindari system. This system was the exploitative system was there in the agriculture sector at the time of independence. So this system was not at all acceptable because it gives the farmer no liberty to work on their field freely, right? And there was one more thing, the partition impact. Because India has a partition with Pakistan and East Pakistan having the jute miles. Like we are having jute producing states there, jute producing areas there. Jute is a very important crop that we need, but due to the partition, that area goes under Pakistan. So that also gives us a little shocking phase for us. And this is all about the agriculture sector, the situation that they are facing. Now coming to the industrial sector. So industrial sector is somewhat, it is not much developed at that time, but it was a something like emerging sector we can say, because whatever we are producing from the agriculture sector, we are just manufacturing them in the goods, in the finished goods, in the industrial sector. So if I talk about the pre-British India, so they are having thriving textile industries and handicraft industries with them. So they are having handicraft industries and textile industries with them, and British policies led to systematic decentralization because Britishers always implement these kind of policies, which always leads to deterioration of the condition of the Indian economy because they don't want the India needs to be developed enough. So they always implement such kind of policies which leads to deterioration of the condition. So British policy also led to the systematic industrialization, which means that the industries are now being shutting down because they are not having much enough revenues generated with them. Why it is so? Because they have always implemented more taxes on imports. So, and there is no taxes on exports. So the Britishers always want that India needs to be the market for their finished goods. So they always promote exports from the foreign countries, but whenever they are importing something out of the country, they always impose heavy duties, heavy taxation, heavy tariffs on them. So due to this, industries won't be able to survive much, so it leads to deindustrialization at that particular phase. And what was the impact? It leads to massive unemployment because people are employed there, people are working in the industries. So if there is no industries, so it leads to massive unemployment. And there is also leads to collapse of local industries, because there we are having certain local industries at that time. We are having certain low level industries which are manufacturing something daily use products and daily utilities. So that particular industries are also collapsed. And there is a very high increase in the foreign goods dependency, because we are not having industries with us. We are not importing anything to the foreign country. We are totally dependent on what? We are totally depending on the foreign goods. We are totally dependent on the finished goods that are provided by the Britishers to us. We are the consumers of that particular product. So that's why it increased the dependency of us on the foreign goods. So deindustrialization was not a great step. Wasn't a good step for our Indian economy. It is a stagnant step for us. It leads to backwardness in the economy. This is our industrial sector. And there are certain developments also in the industrial sector that Britishers had took place because they wanted. That's why they made certain developments in the industrial sector. What were they? They were, number one was limited industrial growth. They have made the growth in the industrial sector, but at a limited phase. Only for the cotton and jute mills. Jute mills, only these two were developed. Tesco was there. Tesco, Tata Iron Steel Corporation was there in 1907. WWII era, sugar, cement, paper industries grew. These kind of small industries grew at that time. Minimal public sector role was there and lack of heavy industries. There were no heavy industries because private sector are not like ready to invest more. So they are having very less kind of interference in this particular sector because they are not pretty sure about that they will be having any profits under this sector. So they never used to have any of the heavy investment in this particular sector. They were lacking of investment in the industrial sector. And next, if I'll talk about in the next session, we will talk about the next topic in the next session. Like in this, we have just completed the two segments of say, Indian economy, agricultural and industry. So in the next video, we will be covering other sectors that we are having in this particular chapter, and then we are good to go with this chapter as well. I hope you are understanding each and every concept. So if you feel any doubt, you can talk down in the comment section. But still, you have to make your own notes, because if you are just listening it, you will not be able to get it. You will not be able to remember it. So you have to write it, you have to understand it, you have to explain it to yourself once, and you have to read your notes before the next lecture. So it is very, very important steps that you have to make sure for the Indian economy. If you are following this, you will be surely scoring full marks in this particular part as well. So thank you so much for watching this video. Take care of yourself. Thank you. Bye bye.